video. What I want to talk about today was just asking the question, is it a lot easier to mock than to do, and is it easier to comment on people and to put people down when you don't actually do it yourself? It's an interesting point, alright. And then another question I want you to ask yourself: am I a keyboard warrior? Certainly something I've asked myself before, you know. And I've always been a big believer in actions speak louder than words, you know. But I also know that you have to use words a lot more nowadays, especially than actions. We're good at that, aren't we? We're good at actually talking a good game but not doing an awful lot. And as soon as you actually use your actions, people criticise you for it. And I've learned over the years that very, very often there's no right or wrong way. You know, we are all imperfect. You know, when you question yourself after doing something, it's like, could I have handled that better? Could I have done that better? And the answer is yes to everything. But that's not criticising you. That's saying we could always do better. There's always something that we probably didn't do right in the heat of the moment because we were too anxious or nervous or whatever. And look, that's fair enough. That's being a human. We all have different life circumstances. We all have different levels of confidence and anxiety through who we are in general, you know. Some people can handle a lot more shit than others. Some people are highly sensitive. But some people had to deal with a lot more shit and it broke them rather than making them, you know. And the reason I'm saying this is because sometimes I have to keep myself in check because I'm making videos now, and I was just getting heated, you know, in some of the conversations with other fans, because when Ireland are playing, even if I criticise them before the game, it's an old Irish thing of, we can criticise them, but don't you fucking dare unless you're Irish, you know? Nah. Even when I hope sometimes, and I was thinking, if England beat us, it'll be a kick up the arse we need. I was like, no, fuck that. I don't care. I want us to win. I'm never saying that. I can't bring myself to say it. It certainly makes up for the football team, am I right? Because our football team is shocking. I was looking it up actually. Apparently they get €45 million by the government, and rugby only gets 10 million. Which explains why the private school system is so important in Ireland for rugby, in fairness, you know. So like, as I'm getting older and wiser, I'm kind of there thinking it is a bit niche and restrictive, but when you're only getting 10 million compared to 45 million, and the GA gets most of it, of course, but sure, no shockers there. Over 100 million I think they get. Look, it's our national sport, I get it. It's an amateur sport though, so you kind of think, we always say how it's amateur and you don't get any financial benefits from it, but you do. You don't get a wage from it, but you certainly get something from it, you know what I mean? I found just a very niche group, but rugby I found to be quite inclusive, in fairness. Football was a bit more like, you know, and certainly one aspect of rugby I like is the respect for the ref, how you can batter the shit out of each other, but you kind of let your frustrations out, and then you go off the field and have a laugh and a chat or whatever, you know. I always hated clubs that didn't do that. It's just an interesting topic when you play a confrontational sport like that, and then doing boxing as well. I often think I'd rather say nothing and perform well, you know, that kind of way. and I don't want to say something and then not back it up. That might be lacking your own ability, you know, but you look at someone in boxing like Tyson Fury, talking a good game like that he beat Alexander Usyk. Look, they're two heavyweight titans. Given Tyson Fury's Irish heritage, I'm sure to criticise him, but he lost, you know, and I think everyone can admit that. I do think in the second one now, and I was watching that live, I only saw highlights of the other fight, but Usyk didn't even look out of breath. Fury, in the second fight, I thought, you know, it was a lot closer. He certainly was in better shape. Maybe he didn't appear. I know he's a bigger lad. He's representing us fatties. So shout out to you, us hairy-chested, pasty fatties. He's given us all hope. You know, in boxing movies, when they have to get ripped and play some really lean fella, it'll be a lucky man who gets to play Tyson Fury, because he won't have to necessarily go on a mad diet. And it's probably because Fury's the only natural boxer there is, you know. I heard rumours that he was taking stuff, but he certainly doesn't look like he's taking anything except recreational drugs, which he's admitted to openly, ecstasy and coke. I think he's just one of those guys who has the boxing genetics. But I'm getting off topic, because I always do. My point being, come on Alf, good boy. My point being that, you know, when you talk a good game, and like he does, he's a real vocal fella. A lot of boxers are. That's how it gets them famous. Stars gas. Usyk, the rabbit, you ugly little man. You ugly little man. Where's the weightlifter, Anthony Joshua? My impression of Fury always goes into Jimmy Savile. It was a fighter by his own admission, a wrestler, a minor, and a grade A creep. Fucking despicable monster, you know, monster of a human being. But having not played in competitive sport anyway, man, stop eating that. Having not played in competitive sport now, because physical ailments have kept me out. Like, I've been getting checked now. I'm still on the fucking waiting list, but GP said that I might have had peptic ulcers, get really bad acid reflux and lots of stomach problems. My eating has always been an issue, either too much or too little, as you can see, and I've yo-yo dieted a lot as a result. I feel like I couldn't have given it any more of a try than I did. I feel like there were way too many obstacles and people not helping me out when they could have done, and it wasn't feasible. I think it was because I wasn't quiet, and I certainly didn't portray an air of confidence about me. I feel like a lot of people can make you think they're good at something because they talk a good game, and you start to believe that they are. But you got to withdraw yourself and go, what am I actually seeing? You know, like, are they as good as they're making out? I don't claim to be the best player in the world, never have. But I've certainly put my head down and worked my arse off, and it hasn't gotten me where I thought it should have. I was never necessarily the biggest mouthpiece in the team, because I felt like it threw me off my game. It was like, this is a game of action, not words. There's a lot of you talking a good game and not delivering. Out of I'm not playing and I'm a coach, I do use my words a lot more, and that comes with confidence as well, because I'm not putting myself out for people who aren't putting themselves out for me, you know, that kind of way. I'm a lot more confident now not playing than I was playing. Things that used to annoy me for weeks just don't bother me anymore. So I don't have that pressure on me, you know. I guess, come on. You're not being humbled every week. Even if you win, you might come up against lads and you're putting your energy into something physical, you're getting battered, so it's an actual altercation, if you like. So it's kind of like, this is the real shit, put your money where your mouth is. And I mean, I did most of the time. I can look back on it now and go, I fucking did. Watching clips of me playing when I was absolutely breaking it, and I gave a good account of myself. I didn't put a foot wrong. Just kept trying, and stomach problems, health issues, fucking mental health issues, lots of heavy medication. I couldn't have done any more. I know that I couldn't. Given the terrible headspace that I was in, I should have been in hospital, but I wasn't. Because I managed to somehow convince people, but they should have done more. They should have. Feel let down by a lot of people, to be honest. Doctors, etc. Had to do a lot on my own, and my family had to just witness me fucking breaking down all the time. The hardest worker doesn't always get rewarded. That's a fact. And if I comment on something, that doesn't automatically mean I think I'm the best. You take, for instance, young Sam Prendergast, who made his competitive debut, because I don't consider the Autumn Internationals competitive games. They're not really, it's just seeding. But you take Six Nations, that's competitive. So, come on, good boy, move. And look, I would have picked Jack Crowley over Sam Prendergast. I wouldn't even put him in the Ireland team because I think it's not fair on him. I think develop him as a player. And rugby's my sport, so rugby's the one I'll use. That's very difficult on a young fella, and credit where it's due. I was getting really nervous. I was absolutely breaking it just watching the game. So credit has to go to him, and I actually ended up defending him, which I didn't think I'd be doing, because I was all for Jack Crowley starting. I thought he's a better player, he's more accomplished. He's older, even though he's only the same age as me, but it's a lot to ask of a 21-year-old to chuck them in the deep end against a big physical team and expect them to swim, not sink. Don't think he's a world beater like people make out, but I have to admire what he did. He went out and didn't completely shit the bed. And how many of us would shit the bed, you know? So no, credit for that. But if it's convenient to play a sport, which it wasn't for me, it became very inconvenient. You know, dry mouth from antidepressants, stomach problems, getting sick. I've mentioned all that before, but muscle cramps, twitches, trying to stay fit when you're on heavy medication, it's not feasible. So I don't take any criticism anyone gives me. I'm like, I fucking gave it my best shot and didn't get the rewards for it, you know. There's a lot of people who the path is basically paved for them. Their future is decided, they're going to be successful regardless. You know, these types that just everything works out for them, no matter what, they always land on their feet. We all know people like that. They might put it down to hard work, I put it down to just pure luck, life circumstances or whatever. As I say, I've been lucky myself, so we all need a bit of it, no denying that. But now that I'm not playing, I'm able to look at everything in a more rational mindset, as opposed to emotional, because being emotional because you're shitting it before a game. Plus I was always, I mean, I'm not the same level as Sam Prendergast, obviously he's playing for Ireland, but I just related to playing for a man's team, an older team. And when you play for an older team, you are not top dog. Big lads are going to, big scary hairy men are going to batter you. They're going to try and intimidate you and bully you, because you're a weakness. And you know England went out to target Sam Prendergast. Of course they did. You'd be a fool not to. It's a clear weakness. Fly halves and scrum halves are smaller players. Bigger men, get them to run at them and hurt them. Saw Ryan Baird put in a big tackle on Alex Mitchell, and even though it was illegal, I was like, yes, because it hurt him, you know, it hurt him and threw him off his game. That's what you want. Ireland need a bit more of that, in my opinion. I was glad to see it. But enough out of that. Like, There's a lot of people that wouldn't have put themselves in that situation, and they only played when they were ready to play, when they were of age. Like, I played against men when I was 18, 19. There were loads of guys talking a big game, and they didn't do it until they were 24, 25. Easy to talk a good game then, you know. Very daunting when you're in it, especially against a bigger team. It's not an easy task. It's scary, and I've no shame admitting that now. So I wasn't going out mouthing off, because I didn't know if I would show up. I would have rather play well than say I was going to play well and let everybody down. Whereas if I do something good, then I can rub someone's face in it. That would have been my style, you know. It's like, if I haven't done anything in the game, why am I mouthing? There's a lot of guys who just mouth and don't do anything in the game. And they really fucking annoy me. On either team, like my own team as well. Guys like that used to piss me off. So I was just like, you've done nothing. Shut the fuck up and play the fucking game. You're losing us this game. Do you know what I mean? And like, I was coaching there, and the last actual game I coached in, I was disappointed. It kind of sent me back. Do you know? I kind of had a flashback, if you like, to playing. I know that sounds a bit dramatic. I am a dramatic human being. So you already know that if you watch my videos regularly. Coaching is different, but it's also like, I want to be the coach that I didn't have. You know, when I saw Scrap breaking out like a fight on the pitch, of course you're not going to go in throwing punches at young lads, because that's a cowardly act. I was like, I'm splitting this thing up. It's like, you look, get away from our lads. And then I said to our lads, go back, just go back. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think if you're a coach that starts throwing punches and all that sort of thing, you're a fucking idiot. And it has happened before, believe it or not. When I was playing, there were other coaches that grabbed their players, that threatened them. One of them hit one of our players. We were defending them, and our coaches condemned us. Same thing happened with my brother's team. And we were there like, what are you doing, you fucking pedo? You know what I mean? I think you're a big man attacking kids, you know, because like bitter men who lost the game and called us dirty when they were stamping on us and trying to injure us. We're just like, fuck off, get away from me, you prick. It shows you how pathetic some people are. I was like, no, you get away, you get away. And in fairness, all the young fellas did. So you gotta hit a coach, big man. Now, it'd be hypocritical not to mention that we had a coach who literally gave out to us before when we scored a try, because we didn't defend him while he was rowing and arguing with opposition players who ended up hitting him. We saw the thing going on after we scored the try and came sprinting over, but we're like, we're scoring a fucking try. We're not here to fucking defend you. It was a Limerick man, so you know what Limerick people are like, mental. Funny guys. Limerick. Passionate Munster man. But yeah, sometimes, like, if I'm being completely honest, I do feel like, would I say that to someone's face if I was in person with them? Now I would, you know. A lot of times I was like too shy and not confident enough. Come on. Come on. He's sniffing around. He's trying to climb into a bush though. Yeah, there we are, good lad. Like, I always hated the verbal stuff. I mean, autism alert, hello, autism non-verbal, kind of goes hand in hand, doesn't it? My own family really annoy me because they're always giving out to me when I'm really excited. They were giving out to me yesterday because I was getting excited for the Six Nations. And I was just like, oh, piss off, let me enjoy it, you know. It really annoys me when they do that, because when I'm quiet and not saying anything, it's all, oh, you okay? And then when I'm actually doing well and happy, shut up, you're too loud. So I'm like, no, I'm fucking happy. I'm not being quiet. I'm excited, let me fucking be excited. Really annoys me. Just because they're miserable and don't say anything. I've certainly in the last, I would even say even just the last year or two, gotten so much more confident, and I'm like Loads of people don't put themselves out if they don't want to. They don't do things if they're not comfortable doing them. Most people don't at all. Bit of country. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Up. You know, like I hate that shit of when you're going to a party or something and people ask if you invite them, oh, who's going? Like, I'm fucking going. I've gone to loads of parties where I didn't know anyone, because the person who invited me was someone I liked. But now it's seen as a common thing where if I don't know anyone else, I'm not going. And then like people will go with only 3 or 4 of their mates. I say only, I mean they'll only go if there's 3 or 4 of their mates going with them. They'll show up late, that's acceptable as well. All these things that you just kind of go, they shouldn't be, but they are. I wouldn't do that. I do show up late every so often because whenever I show up early, fuckers are always late. So I hate showing up early. You know, sitting around awkwardly. Fucking hate it. Makes me feel shit. I'm just like, I've nothing to do. I'm not good when I've nothing to do. You know? Especially if there's alcohol around. Just FYI, while I've been talking and making a few alcohol related content, I'm not good if I'm sitting on my own waiting for people. In an environment where there's alcohol and I'm not comfortable, I don't recommend you do it. Perhaps if you are prone to drinking, you should only show up late. Say that to people and then everyone ends up showing late. Maybe they'll all show up at the same time for once. But yeah, it's I certainly realise how much I have put myself out, which I didn't think I did. I was like, you're great, you should be grateful for anyone inviting you out. Look at the state you're like. I was kind of like, if anyone invites me out, I should be very grateful because they're so much better than I am. They're so much more popular than I am. I don't think that way anymore because I don't bullshit people. You know, when you have to be fake in order to keep the peace with people, and I'll kind of do that, but let's just say my patience and tolerance for bullshit is very low. I can't tolerate any more fakeness and shite talking. I'm sick of it. It's bollocks, you know. It's absolute bullshit. I think, you know, all the fake it till you make it stuff, it just gets on my tits. And I'm also like, you say you're going to do something, then fucking do it, you know. You want to threaten me with words, why don't you go ahead and fucking do it. Kind of desensitised to it now, which is a good thing. Maybe a bit ridiculous because sometimes I haven't cared about my own safety and it's got me into trouble, or gotten others into trouble, but I feel like people are great at, because they think you're their mate, so what they'll do is, sorry, one sec. There you go. What I was going to say was, thinking how to phrase it, but people will say stuff to me and then knowing that we're friends and I'm quite loyal to people who I consider loyal to me, and if I consider you a friend, I'd certainly let you away with a lot more than someone who I don't consider to be a friend, and it'll always be implied that I'm too sensitive if I get annoyed and pissed off at what they're saying, because I'm a bigger fella as well, and then they'll just say, oh, calm down, we're only messing, you know, which I fucking despise. Like, I fucking hate that. Come on, you get. Come on, move. There. Someone just driving straight at us when there was clearly enough space to go by. It's like, where do you want me to go? Into the fucking gully? I get that they're narrow roads, but I'm not that fucking fat. Yeah, so we're out, do you know what I mean? And they will slag me off non-stop, just rip into me, and then I'll be like, say one more fucking thing, you know, you're really pissing me off now. Say one more fucking thing and see what happens. You know, like, you're really getting on my fucking nerves now. So say one more thing and I'm gonna get really annoyed with you. And this won't be for nothing. This will be having had fucking everything directed my way. Every fucking thing. Come on, stay in. BMW. They like to go around Billy Big Bollocks, don't they? Even women drivers. Driving like men. And I don't mean in a good way. I mean the opposite. You know, flying around corners. But then when I get into a row with someone, which has happened, especially when I got the most depressed, I didn't give a fuck if someone battered me. And when I talk about throwing myself out in front of a car, you have to go out of your way not to throw yourself out in front of a car here. Way people drive, but having ripped into me the whole night, then me getting angry with the fella who I wanted to hit me with the car, my mate starts apologising for me and telling me to cop on, and it's easy to do that. You know I'm very unlikely to actually do anything to you. You're well able to rip into me and call me all sorts of names. But the thought of confrontation, you start apologising, you know. You just, oh sorry mate, sorry. Fuck off. Apologising for me. I was like, don't you fucking apologise for me. After what you've been saying to me, fuck off. Didn't want you to come home with me. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. Leave. I told you to leave. Get my head kicked in, I couldn't care less. You've made me feel this bad. I hope you fucking know that. Oh. Fuck. So people can play the friends card a lot, which they do. Very fucking fast, Jesus Christ. God shite. That's what I'm talking about, if you heard that. Taking corners in the middle of the fucking road, like, what are you at? Alf, now stay in, good lad. You know these roads. That's why I'm training you. If I see some cocky prick though, I'm not going to put up with them. You know, if they start ripping into me, I'm going to say something. Be like, oh, you're full of yourself, aren't you? Well, you're a right fucking wanker. You're not that fucking great. All this big dick energy, you know, where did you go to college, and, you know, how much can you bench and all this stuff, and give us an arm wrestle or whatever. All in good spirits, huh? And when I was physically at my best, people were always criticising me. They wouldn't challenge me to anything like that involved physical strength, because I'd win. Now, ironically, that I've gotten into the worst shape of my life, had a fucking mental breakdown, everybody's bragging about how much better they are than me, and I'm like, fuck off. And then when I get thick with them and hit them, I knock them to the ground, and it's like, oh, you should know better, cop on. It's like, you're constantly belittling everything I do. Every fucking thing, like. So, fuck off. I've taken so much off you, now I can't stand it anymore. Oh, come on, Alf, move. You know the drill. Like, the reason I wasn't confident, and the reason that I wasn't going around acting like the big man, is because the people I was with would have ditched me if anything got bad, you know, and I accept that now. I don't think people appreciate just how nerve-wracking it is knowing that if anything gets serious, there's no one coming to help you. They'll all ditch you or say it's your own problem, you can deal with it. So very often I have that attitude. It's like, I'm looking after myself, you only care about yourself, so I'm not having your back if you wouldn't have mine. You're not loyal to me, I'm not fucking loyal to you. I look after number one. And then when I do actually help people out, they give out to me. Might be a selfish mindset, but I'm not fucking doing it anymore. I'm fucking sick of putting myself out for people who wouldn't do the same for me. I'm not fucking doing it. You can call me out and whatever, I don't fucking care. People say it's the coward's way out, but fuck it. If you put yourself out for me, I will do that 10 times over for you. Because it's a rare fucking thing. You have my back, bet your arse I'll have yours. And that's the way I think everyone should live. Those friends who run a mile, I say friends that run a mile when you are in a confrontational situation, they're not real friends. If they can't be relied upon in the toughest of times, or sometimes even the easy times, the ones who side with the loudest mouth in the room, which I've had a lot of experience with, ditch those fuckers. Trust me, they're not worth it. They will turn their back on you in a second. Those are easy times, you know, it's banter, fucking banter and like all that shit. I hate that bollocks. We're only slagging, fuck off. I can take a slag now, but I know when it's getting all directed in one direction, and I'm not fucking putting up with it anymore. But put your money where your mouth is, you know. I will say that if you're gonna say something, back it up. You know, like say the same thing to myself when I'm talking to myself. What's that, Dan? Hearing things. But anyway, guys, happy Sunday. The sun is kind of shining, but it's fucking Baltic out here. Better get inside.